Okay, so now that you have the outline and you're absolutely happy with it, you've done all the research, you have the citations properly in place, you don't have to do any more research. You've got all of the quotes you need for every main idea, and then everything is in the order that it needs to be, right? So whatever number two is here and it matches this. Then it's time to turn this into an actual draft. So whether you're working with a smaller assignment or you're working with a larger essay, the concept is still the same. So you want to isolate your main idea paragraph so it's just easier to focus on that one point and you're not having information overload with the other points. You just work on one thing at a time. And what we're going to do is known as the cookie method. So in the cookie method, what you want to do is introduce a quote to signal to the reader that a quote is coming up, and then you want to analyze it. And you analyze it through what's known as the rhetorical modes. And you can look this up online, but I also have another handout for you here to help you know what some of them are. So there's lots of different examples that I give you on ways to analyze quotes, and you should kind of mix it up. Maybe one quote lends itself better to giving a narrative, which is a short story, and maybe another quote lends itself better to giving a compare contrast. So let me give you an example. So if I'm looking at this quote here, and they're talking about how a combat support hospital basically does everything that a hospital does, and they do surgery, it's just that they're doing it on a battlefield. So I can introduce a quote several ways. The first way is with an emotional appeal, and that has to do with giving adjectives that show some level of emotion. So maybe the quote is shocking, or it's interesting, or maybe it's wonderful, or maybe it's, really scary. But you want to kind of give it some kind of wording that introduces the quote. Another way to do it is just to state the article title that you found it in, right? According to a website from the United States U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs or something like that. Or you can even introduce it with the name of the author. And you want to give it a good verb like contends or notices or mentions. There's many different verbs that can help you introduce the quote. So once you've introduced the quote, either through some level of emotional appeal or the article or author title, you can even do a question that you ask, and then the answer can be the quote. So there's many ways to do this, and then you have to analyze it. So let's say I could do a narrative, and I can create a whole scenario of a soldier who's injured, and they're trying to stop blood loss. If I can spell all that right. And I can create a whole scenario to kind of get the reader to understand that, yeah, it is kind of feeling like a hospital, and they are about to perform surgery and remove a bullet from someone's leg. But you can describe all of that to help the reader understand this quote better and narrow the focus down. You can even compare it to another scenario, like blood loss in a car accident, and how that compares to, how doctors do that in a hospital, and how combat medics do that for for soldiers who are injured, and they have to, create a tourniquet. You can even do it as a contrast method. You can think of the opposite. So what if these things didn't exist? What if the combat support hospital didn't exist? And you can talk about, if they didn't exist, if they didn't have it, then they wouldn't be able to do the things that are required in the battlefield for surgeries. And that helps you to figure out how to just talk about this quote further. You can even combine them. You can create a scenario and then also compare it to the way things work in a regular hospital here at home. So there's a lot you can do with just a little tiny quote. And you want to use this handout to kind of help you get a sense of, which rhetorical mode is best for analyzing which quote. So the next thing you want to do is do the same thing here. You want to introduce the next quote, and then you want to analyze it. And then once you do that, you pretty much don't really have to guess as to what to write. And you just smush everything together, the introductions to the quotes and the analysis of them, and it actually pretty much creates that paragraph. But you can see how the outline is absolutely essential to making certain that this gets written this way. And right here, where you're about to introduce the very next quote between this one and say the next one, right in between, you might want to have a transition sentence that moves the reader from one example or one quote to the next one. And that helps to join the two paragraphs or the two quotes together in the paragraph. So I hope that you can see how all of this comes together in this interesting cookie method technique, and it will help you to write, each paragraph, whether it's for a shorter assignment or whether you have to create longer essays by doing the same technique over and over again for every main idea paragraph that you have to write. I really hope this method helps you write faster, more efficiently, less guesswork, keeps you focused on one topic at a time. Really appreciate you watching this, and if you need any help, remember, you can always get help from me. Thanks for watching.